If you own a Honda Pilot, a Honda Ridgeline, a Honda Passport, or an Acura MDX, stop what you're doing for the next 10 minutes, because the vehicle sitting in your driveway right now might be quietly rusting itself apart in a place you will never think to look. Not the body, not the paint you can actually see, underneath. At the exact point where your rear wheels are bolted to the rest of the car. And Honda just admitted it in writing to the federal government. On June 4th, 2026, American Honda filed a safety recall with the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, recall number 26V365, 880,514 vehicles in the United States. That is not a typo. Nearly 900,000 of the most trusted family vehicles on the road pulled back because the rear subframe, the structural cradle that holds your back suspension to the car, can corrode, thin out, and in Honda's own words, fracture and fail. Now here is the part that should make you uncomfortable. And I am going to prove exactly why before this is over. Because the day Honda filed this recall is not the day Honda found out. Not even close. But stay with me, because before that timeline makes sense, you need to understand what is actually at stake, and it starts with your money. Think about what one of these costs. A clean, well-kept Acura MDX or Honda Pilot with plenty of miles left in it is a $20,000, $30,000, sometimes $40,000 vehicle. People buy these on purpose because they last. The research firm IC Cars puts the average Acura MDX on the road for more than 154,000 miles, with almost 1 in 4 reaching 200,000. That long life is the entire reason you pay the Honda premium in the first place. Durability, resale value, peace of mind in the driveway. So here's the gut punch. Structural corrosion does not just cost you a repair, it can erase the value of the whole vehicle. Carfax states plainly that frame damage can cut a car's worth by 50% or more, even after a professional fixes it. And if you are assuming your insurance will catch you, read your own policy. Progressive says it outright. Rust is not typically covered, because insurers treat corrosion as neglect, not as an accident. Comprehensive will not touch it. Collision will not touch it. The bill is yours. So the free recall repair, that is the good news, and I will tell you exactly how to claim it. The bad news is what happens to every owner who falls just outside the fine print. Picture the person who bought their Pilot used, drove it for years in Ohio, then retired to Florida. Picture the owner whose subframe is already too far gone for a simple reinforcement. Picture the one whose model year landed one number off the list. For them, this same rust is not a free fix. It is a 4-figure repair, or a vehicle quietly written off as not worth saving. Same metal, same flaw. A completely different outcome. And I will show you exactly who decides that in a moment. Because here is where this stops being about dollars and starts being about whether you walk away from your next drive in one piece. Read the language in the filing for yourself. Honda told the government that if the mounting points for the rear control arm or lower arm fail, the rear wheel, and I am quoting the document, may become misaligned or inadequately retained, which can affect the vehicle's handling, stability, and braking performance, increasing the risk of a crash. Translate that out of corporate English. The back end of your car can lose its hold on the road, at a highway merge, on a wet off-ramp, with your kids buckled into the second row, trusting that the metal under them is solid. And the cruelest part is how quietly it creeps up on you. The only warning signs Honda lists are an abnormal noise or a vibration from the rear or a subtle change in the way the car handles. That is it. Most people would just turn up the radio and keep going. Nobody hears a faint rattle and thinks, "My suspension is tearing loose from the frame." So what causes it? A factory mistake. Honda says the rear subframes were built with, and again I am quoting, improper coating specifications, which let the paint peel near a weld. Once that bare metal meets road salt, it rots from there. That is exactly why this recall only covers 22 states, plus Washington, D.C., the Salt Belt, Connecticut, Illinois, Michigan, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Wisconsin, and more. If your vehicle was first sold in any of them, you are on the list, even if you have since moved somewhere warm and dry. The car remembers where it came from. But do not drift off yet, because the timeline I promised you at the very start, this is where it goes off. And once you hear it, you will not look at that recall letter the same way. Here is the sequence, taken straight from Honda's own chronology filed with regulators. Honda says it first identified a paint quality problem back in December of 2021. December 2021. It kept monitoring the vehicles through 2022 through 2023 all the way into 2025. It was not until September 5th, 2025 when Honda Canada received its first real field report that the gears finally started turning. And Honda did not formally declare a safety defect until May 28th, 2026. Do that math. More than 4 years passed between spotting the coating problem and warning the people actually driving the cars. Now, I am going to be fair and precise here, because this channel does not deal in outrage, it cannot back up. Honda did quietly fix the assembly line. It improved the coating treatment in August of 2022 and increased the thickness in January of 2023. According to the filing, there are no reported injuries, no deaths, and not a single warranty claim tied to this defect. And the repair really is free. A dealer inspects the subframe, installs a reinforcement kit, and replaces parts as needed at no cost to you. But here is the contrast that tells you everything. And it is the thread I planted at the start of this video. This is not the first time a Honda subframe has rusted through. Owners of the older 2003 through 2008 Pilot lived this exact nightmare years ago. Rear subframes corroding, suspension parts letting go underneath them. And how did Honda treat those people? Not with a recall, with a technical service bulletin that said in plain writing that the customer is responsible for any and all cost. Same company, same kind of failure. Two completely opposite answers decided by nothing more than which model year you happen to buy. And that right there is the real story, and it is far bigger than any one truck, because this is a window into how the entire industry decides when your safety becomes their problem. A coating spec gets shaved at a parts supplier. A pattern shows up in the warranty data years before it ever shows up in your mailbox. And the thing that decides whether you pay or they pay is not always the danger itself. It is the paperwork, the model year, the press coverage. Honda is one of the most respected names in the business, ranked 4th for reliability by Consumer Reports just this past year. If it can take 4 years and a report from another country to move a company that good, then ask yourself, what is sitting unannounced in every other automaker's data tonight? That is the part that should keep you up. So here is exactly what you do tonight, before that July 7th notification letter even reaches your mailbox. Go to nhtsa.gov, type in your 17-digit VIN, and search for Recall 26V365. If you live in or bought your vehicle in a salt state, do it whether you have felt anything wrong or not. Book the free inspection. And if you start hearing a new noise from the back of your car, for once in your life, do not turn up the radio. Because if you think a rusted out subframe is the worst thing hiding under these vehicles, Wait until you see what I've found about the engines in some of these exact same model years. There is a second Honda investigation, still wide open right now, that most owners have absolutely no idea exists. That is the next video. Check your VIN first, then come find me there and I will show you the part Honda is not putting in any letter.